Hello, Classic Crew, and welcome to another episode of The Scoop. If you are new to my channel, The Scoop is our opportunity to catch up, go over what went on over the course of the week, and just act like we're grabbing a cup of coffee together. So before we get into today's episode, I would love if you would consider subscribing to my Substack newsletter. In my Substack newsletter, you'll get access to exclusive content not available anywhere else. You'll get 2 exclusive videos a month, a weekly article, as well as access to asking me questions for live stream Q&As. So I would love if you would consider subscribing over there, as well as hitting the notification bell here and subscribing to this channel. So now that we've got that out of the way, grab a cup of coffee like I have here, and let's get into it. So I can't really figure out my hair today. I tried something with putting it up while I was sleeping, and it sort of half fell out and half didn't, and I didn't want to put it up in a ponytail because some of the curls looked good enough, but I don't know how it looks today. So I don't feel great about it, but I'd love to know what you guys think. Actually, if it's mean, don't tell me. I don't want to know. But in any case, I'm excited to get into today's video. We have a lot to talk about. And so the first thing I wanted to talk about today are my thoughts on Mother's Day. So Mother's Day is a lovely holiday in which we celebrate mothers and we celebrate how wonderful they are. And reading here, I actually looked it up and I didn't know this, but Mother's Day started with the initiative of Anna Jarvis in the early 20th century, who organized the first Mother's Day service of worship and celebration at Andrews Methodist Episcopal Church in Grafton, West Virginia. I did not know that. I always thought that it was more of a Hallmark holiday, but now I know where it actually originated. And the last few years, something I've noticed a lot during Mother's Day is that people want to focus on the people who are suffering on Mother's Day and comfort them. And they'll make these pictures that say to the women who have lost mothers, or to the women who have lost children, or to the women who don't have a great relationship with their mothers. And I think it's a really nice thought to go out of your way to consider the pain of others on a day that's for celebration. But often I find that that's the only thing people will post. They'll post something just about the sad side of Mother's Day, and they won't take into account the amazing celebration and happiness of Mother's Day. And as someone who had a miscarriage and theoretically could have looked at Mother's Day and been really down about it, I didn't want to think of Mother's Day as a sad day. I wanted to look at Mother's Day as something that is really special. It's one day a year that we get to celebrate the mothers in our lives and be happy about it. And so even though I think that the thought of going out of your way to consider other people's suffering is really important and really nice, I don't think that every celebration also needs to focus on sadness. I think that it's good sometimes to just focus on the happy side of things. And if we want to celebrate mothers, it doesn't always have to be at the expense of someone else. It's not about who we're leaving out, it's about who we're lifting up. I think that there is a way to do both. I think you can post a picture where you are thinking of all of those in pain, and then also continue to live your day in happiness and joy and celebrating the mothers around you. But I think so often we get caught up in the sadness side of things. And let's take advantage of days like Mother's Day. Let's bring joy to the women in our lives who are such great mothers, and to the Mother's Day that hopefully you and I will celebrate in the future. So I wanted to talk about this. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, what you guys think about it, because maybe this is controversial, I don't know, but these are my thoughts on it. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys think. This week has been so crazy for me. I've been putting out multiple videos. I've been working on a ton of content for you guys, and I've actually been loving it. But I have to say that as the weather gets nicer, staying inside longer to do work is a tricky one. I'm not somebody who likes to stay inside when the weather is beautiful. And at some point in my life, I dream about having a lanai or a patio that has a really nice sitting area where I can do my work and also enjoy the weather. Does anyone have that? Because if you do, I feel like I would use it all the time, but I don't have one, so I don't know. So let me know in the comments if you work outside when you can. Next up, I wanted to talk about the bachelorette brunch that I planned for my girlfriend this coming weekend. So I'm so excited for her. She has had a crazy time with COVID and replanning her wedding multiple times. So she's finally getting married. So excited for her. And I asked if I could plan her bachelorette brunch, and she said absolutely. So we're getting together a few of her friends, and we're all going to brunch together, and I have a few games planned. I also got little gift bags for everyone that I put some extra skincare that I was given by a brand that I worked with a while back. So I figured I would give those as kind of a gift bag to all of the different girls. And as well, I also put some special things in for the bride, but I think it'll be really fun and I can't wait. I love having girls' days. I love celebrating. I love specific celebrations, birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, all of that stuff makes me so happy. I think it's really lovely to take advantage of those events in our lives that are special and important and to find joy in them. So I'm really looking forward to that. Next up, let's talk about a few things that are in the news this week. So gas shortages. So Colonial Pipeline was hacked by a ransomware cyber attack. So I had to look up what ransomware meant. What it actually means is that it locks out the rightful user of a computer or computer network and holds it hostage until the victim pays a fee. Ransomware gangs have also threatened to leak sensitive information in order to get victims to meet their demands. So it's very serious stuff. And so what happened was Colonial Pipeline had to shut down operations. Now all of the gas stations in our area get their gas from Colonial Pipeline. So we have been driving around and seeing many different gas stations with bags over the pumps showing that they are out of gas, and it's very stressful. And it's just been kind of an odd week. I got a call from my husband saying, Abby, you need to check your gas tank and make sure that it is at least close to full because we don't know how long it's gonna take for them to get everything back online. And so I was able to go and get a full tank of gas, so was he, so we were ahead of the curve a bit on things, but it's been a bit stressful here, and I'm sure many of you are suffering in the same way. As I've seen, Colonial Pipeline is actually back online, which is amazing, but it's going to take a couple of days for things to get back to normal. So I'd love to know if you have seen gas shortages in your area and what it's looked like for you. Last but not least, I want to talk about the situation in Israel. So I'm not here to tell you everything you need to know about the conflict. I think it would be disrespectful of me in a scoop video to try and tell you everything that you need to know in 2 minutes. This is something that would take a little while. So I highly recommend doing some research, listening to my brother Ben Shapiro's podcast. He has some great information on what's going on in Israel right now. There's also some articles and news sites you can head to. I just recently read an article by Barry Weiss that was very informative and great, and I think it's worth checking out. But what I want to talk about today is just where I stand, which is that I stand with Israel, and I pray for Israel. I pray for the newborns in bomb shelters in hallways with their fathers. I pray for the people who have to gather their children in 30 to 90 seconds and get to a bomb shelter before bombs hit where they live. I pray for the civilians in Gaza who are being used as human shields by Hamas while they shoot their rockets out of civilian buildings. And anyone who draws a moral equivalence between Israel and Hamas needs to understand that only one side is shooting as many rockets as they can into civilian areas. Israel has been shooting down those rockets with the incredible Iron Dome system in order to save their people. And any time that Israel shoots a rocket into Gaza to take down a military point, they call Palestinian soldiers to warn them, to tell them to get any civilians out and make sure that no one gets hurt unnecessarily, removing the entire element of surprise that is necessary in warfare. I stand with Israel and I pray for my brothers and sisters who are suffering. So that's it for today's video. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more of my channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos. If you'd like to get access to exclusive content not available anywhere else, make sure to subscribe to my Substack newsletter, which is linked in the description box below. If you'd like to follow me on social media, it's at Classically Abby, absolutely everywhere. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!